Rain hammers the pavement, neon lights bleeding into puddles outside a deserted coastal diner. Inside, Lucas Bennett, drenched and hollow-eyed, clutches a cracked locket, its microchip glinting under flickering fluorescence. His trembling fingers trace the initials, LB, etched on its back. Across from him, Maya Torres, her barista apron stained, stares in disbelief as a DNA test result glows on her phone, sibling match. A single tear falls as she whispers, "You were supposed to find me." Outside, a black SUV idles, its tinted windows hiding watchful eyes. The Locket's secret has just shattered their worlds, and someone is already moving to bury it again. The diner's fluorescent lights flicker, casting jagged shadows across the chipped linoleum floor. Rain lashes the windows, a relentless curtain blurring the neon glow of the coastal city outside. Lucas Bennett sits in a vinyl booth, his tailored suit clinging to his frame, soaked from a desperate sprint through the storm. His sharp features, usually commanding boardrooms, are etched with a raw, unmoored panic. His tousled dark hair drips onto the table, where a cracked locket lies open, its microchip glinting like a tiny, dangerous star. Across from him, Maya Torres grips her phone, her warm brown eyes wide with shock. Her barista apron, stained with coffee grounds, feels like a relic from a life that no longer exists. The phone's screen glows with a DNA test result, sibling match, 99.9%. Her voice trembles as she whispers, "You were supposed to find me, Lucas." Outside, a black SUV idles, its tinted windows concealing watchful eyes. The Locket's secret has just shattered their worlds, and someone is already moving to bury it again. The clock above the counter ticks past midnight, its hum drowned by the storm's roar. Lucas, 38, is a tech billionaire, the charismatic face of Bennett Technologies, but tonight he's a man unraveling. His restless energy, usually channeled into AI breakthroughs, is now a caged animal pacing within him. He leans forward, his voice low and urgent. "Our father, Victor Bennett, did this. He didn't just hide you, he erased you to protect his empire." Maya, 25, sits rigid, her curly hair still tied in the loose bun she wore at Brew and Bloom hours ago. The DNA app on her phone, a trendy kit gifted by a coworker, was supposed to be a fun distraction. Instead, it's a sledgehammer, smashing through the fragile scaffolding of her life, scraping by in a cramped apartment, pouring lattes for tech bros, clinging to the locket her mother, Elena, left her. She's resourceful, empathetic, but tonight, her quiet strength is fracturing. Lucas's fingers hover over the locket, its floral engraving hauntingly familiar. "I gave this to you when you were 5, at that foster home in Oakland. You kept it all these years?" Maya nods, her voice barely audible. "Mom, Elena, said it was my anchor. She never told me why." Flashbacks flicker in her mind, Elena Vasquez, her gentle face framed by dark hair, tucking Maya into bed in their tiny apartment, the locket always around her neck. Elena, a nurse who died 5 years ago, had carried this secret to her grave. Maya's fingers tighten around her phone, the DNA results searing her vision. She's not just Maya Torres, she's Lily Bennett, Lucas's sister, stolen from him 20 years ago. The diner's lone waitress, a tired woman in her 50s, refills their coffee, oblivious to the gravity unfolding. Lucas's phone buzzes on the table, a cryptic text from his COO, Cassandra Wells, "They know you're with her. Leave now." His jaw clenches. Cassandra, with her sharp suits and sharper mind, has been his confidant for years, feeding him intel on his father's shadow dealings. But her loyalty is a question mark, and the SUV outside feels like a warning shot. Maya catches his glance toward the window, her barista's calm giving way to steel. "Who's watching us, Lucas?" she demands, her voice cutting through the diner's hum. He hesitates, then spills the truth like a man confessing sins. Victor Bennett, the founder of Bennett Technologies, didn't just build AI and biotech empires, he patented genetic data, using children like Lily as leverage to secure investor trust. Maya's existence, her DNA, was a bargaining chip Victor hid to avoid scrutiny. Lucas's empire, the one he inherited at 30, is tainted by that betrayal. "You're a threat to everything he built," Lucas says, his eyes searching hers. "And now, to me." Maya's breath catches, the weight of her identity crashing down. She's no longer just a barista, she's a key to a conspiracy that spans decades, tying her to a man she never knew and an empire she never wanted. A mini cliffhanger strikes as the diner's door swings open, admitting a man in a dark coat, his face obscured by a low-brimmed hat. Rain drips from his sleeves, pooling on the floor. Lucas grabs the locket, shoving it into his pocket, the microchip's sharp edges pressing against his palm. "We need to move," he hisses, his voice tight with urgency. Maya's eyes dart to the microchip, still on the table where she'd pried it from the locket with tweezers from her coffee shop's toolkit. She snatches it, her heart pounding like a war drum. The man in the coat pauses, scanning the room, his hand slipping into his jacket. Is he one of Victor's enforcers, sent to silence them? Or something worse, a corporate rival sniffing out the scandal? Lucas slides out of the booth, his movements deliberate but tense, like a predator cornered. Maya follows, her sneakers silent against the linoleum. The waitress glances up, sensing trouble, but says nothing. They slip through the kitchen's swinging doors, the smell of grease and burnt coffee enveloping them. A cook, earbuds in, doesn't notice as they weave past sizzling griddles toward the back exit. Outside, the alley is a maze of dumpsters and flickering streetlights, the storm swallowing their footsteps. Maya clutches the microchip, its cold metal grounding her as they run. Lucas's hand grazes her arm, guiding her through the shadows, but his eyes keep darting to the alley's mouth, where headlights briefly sweep the darkness. They duck behind a dumpster, the rain masking their ragged breaths. Lucas pulls out his phone, its screen illuminating his face as he types a message to Cassandra, "Who's tailing us?" No reply. Maya's voice is a fierce whisper. "You said you trusted her. Was that a lie too?" Lucas's silence is answer enough. Cassandra's cryptic warnings have guided him this far, but her role in this game is murky. Did she lead him to Maya deliberately, or is she a pawn like them? The SUV's engine growls nearby, tires crunching on wet gravel. Maya's fingers tighten around the microchip, its data, medical records, adoption papers, the name, Lily Bennett, a ticking bomb. The alley offers no answers, only questions. How did a chance encounter 3 weeks ago, a barista fixing a billionaire's Porsche, unravel into this? Lucas's mind races back to that day, the locket glinting at Maya's throat, stirring memories of a sister he'd failed. Maya, meanwhile, feels Elena's absence like a phantom limb. Her mother's secretive past, her insistence on keeping the locket close, now makes sense, but at what cost? The SUV slows, its headlights pinning them in the alley's gloom. Lucas grabs Maya's wrist, pulling her toward a side street. "We can't stay here," he says, his voice a mix of fear and resolve. "There's a safe house. We need to get there before they do." As they vanish into the storm, the man in the dark coat steps into the alley, his boots splashing in puddles. He pulls out a phone, his voice low and clipped. "They're moving. She has the chip." The call ends, and he melts into the shadows, leaving only the rain and the unanswered question: who will reach Maya and Lucas first, and what will they do with the truth they carry? 3 weeks before the diner, the coastal city of Santa Marina hums under a golden dawn, its streets alive with the pulse of morning commuters. Brew and Bloom, a cozy artisan coffee shop, buzzes with the clatter of espresso machines and soft jazz drifting from vintage speakers. Exposed brick walls glow in the sunlight, and the air carries the rich scent of roasted beans. Maya Torres, 25, wipes down the counter, her warm brown eyes scanning the line of customers with practiced ease. Her curly hair is tied in a loose bun, a few strands escaping to frame her face. Her barista apron, slightly frayed, hangs over a faded band tee, a testament to a life stitched together by resilience. She's resourceful, empathetic, fiercely independent, but achingly alone. The locket around her neck, a silver relic from her late mother, Elena, brushes her skin, a talisman against the world's sharp edges. Maya's tiny apartment barely covers rent, and memories of Elena, who died 5 years ago, linger like a half-remembered song. Across town, Lucas Bennett paces his corner office atop Bennett Technologies' glass-walled campus, the Pacific Ocean sparkling below like a taunting promise of freedom. At 38, he's a tech billionaire, his sharp features and tousled dark hair making him a media darling. His tailored suit fits like armor, but his restless energy betrays a man haunted. The office is sterile, marble floors, sleek AI assistants humming in the background, a wall of screens flashing stock tickers. Lucas is charismatic, commanding, but beneath the polish lies a wound that never healed, the childhood promise to find his sister, Lily. He was 18 when he last saw her, a 5-year-old with his hazel eyes, clutching a locket he'd given her in a grim Oakland foster home. His father, Victor Bennett, had sworn she'd be safe, but she vanished. Lucas's guilt festers, a shadow over his empire of AI and biotech breakthroughs. Their worlds collide on a quiet road near Brew and Bloom, where Lucas's Porsche 911 Turbo coughs and stalls, its sleek black frame gleaming under the morning sun. He's late for a board meeting, his phone dead from a sleepless night reviewing acquisition deals. The hood is propped open, and Lucas, clueless about engines, curses under his breath, his polished veneer cracking. Maya, on her break, leans against the coffee shop's doorway, sipping an iced latte. She spots him, a lone figure in a $5,000 suit wrestling with a $200,000 car. Her uncle, Javier, a mechanic who raised her after Elena's death, taught her enough to recognize a loose fuel line from 20 paces. "Need a hand?" she calls, her voice light but confident, cutting through the morning's hum. Lucas glances up, skepticism etching his features. "It's a Porsche, not a Civic. I've got roadside assistance." His tone is clipped, but Maya's unfazed, her sneakers crunching gravel as she approaches. She sets her latte on the ground and pulls a wrench from her canvas tote, a habit from Javier's garage. "Your fuel line's loose. I can fix it in 5 minutes." Lucas raises an eyebrow, half amused, half annoyed, but steps aside. Maya leans over the engine, her hands steady and precise, tightening the line with a deft twist. The engine purrs to life, a low growl that makes her grin. Lucas, grudgingly impressed, straightens. "Where'd you learn that?" "My uncle's a mechanic," Maya says, wiping her hands on her apron. "He says cars are just puzzles with louder tantrums." Her smile is unguarded, and for a moment, Lucas's guarded exterior softens. Then his eyes catch the locket glinting at her throat, its floral engraving sparking a jolt of recognition. His breath catches. "Where'd you get that?" he asks, his voice sharp, almost accusatory. Maya's hand instinctively covers the locket, her expression wary. "It was my mom's." "Why?" The locket is identical to the one he gave Lily, down to the delicate vines curling around its edges. Lucas's mind races, coincidence or something more. He brushes it off, forcing a tight smile. "Just looks familiar. Thanks for the fix." He pulls a $100 bill from his wallet, pressing it into her hand before sliding into the driver's seat. The Porsche roars away, leaving Maya standing in the dust, her fingers tracing the locket's familiar weight. Back at Brew and Bloom, the morning rush ebbs, and Maya's co-worker, Jess, a bubbly 22-year-old with a nose ring and a TikTok obsession, teases her over the espresso machine. "You just saved a billionaire's butt. Was he as hot as his Forbes cover?" Maya rolls her eyes, but her mind lingers on Lucas's reaction to the locket. That night, in her cramped apartment, she sits cross-legged on her bed, the locket open in her palm. Inside is a faded photo of Elena, her gentle face smiling softly. Maya's never noticed the locket's faint seam, a hidden compartment she won't discover for weeks. Unseen, the microchip within holds secrets that could topple empires. She snaps the locket shut, the weight of loneliness settling heavier than usual. Meanwhile, Lucas drives to his cliffside penthouse, the city's light sprawling below like a digital constellation. In his study, he unlocks a safe, pulling out a worn shoebox of keepsakes from his childhood, a photo of Lily, age 5, clutching the same locket, her hazel eyes mirroring his. His throat tightens. He was 18, sneaking visits to the foster home against Victor's orders, promising Lily he'd come back for her. Victor, a towering figure with a voice like steel, had dismissed her disappearance as handled. Lucas dials Cassandra Wells, his COO, her sharp voice crackling through the speaker. "I need you to pull everything we have on Victor's foster care investments from the 90s, he says. Cassandra hesitates, her tone evasive. "That's ancient history, Lucas. Some things are better left buried." Her words hang, a warning he doesn't yet heed. A subtle twist ripples through the morning's aftermath. Jess, overhearing Maya's story about the Porsche encounter, grabs her phone and starts a TikTok live stream, her voice bubbling with excitement. "Y'all, my coworker just fixed a billionaire's car. Lucas Bennett, yeah, that guy. Check this out." She pans to Maya, who waves her off, laughing. The video, tagged with hashtag BennettTech and hashtag Santa Marina, racks up thousands of views by noon. Unbeknownst to Maya, it catches the eye of someone in Victor Bennett's inner circle, a shadowy figure monitoring social media for threats. As Maya locks up Brew and Bloom that night, a shadow moves across the parking lot, unnoticed, a camera lens glinting in the dark. Lucas, staring at Lily's photo in his penthouse, feels a chill he can't explain. The locket, Maya's face, the Porsche's convenient breakdown, it's too neat, too orchestrated. He pulls up the viral TikTok on his phone, Maya's laugh echoing through his speakers. His gut twists. Was their meeting truly chance, or was it engineered by someone pulling strings he can't yet see? The question lingers as he dials Cassandra again, her voicemail clicking on. Outside, the ocean churns under a rising moon, whispering secrets that will soon drag them both into the abyss. The past is clawing its way forward, and neither Lucas nor Maya is ready for what it will unearth. 2 weeks after the roadside encounter, the coastal city of Santa Marina is cloaked in a thick morning fog, the kind that muffles sound and blurs edges, turning the world into a watercolor smear. Maya Torres and Lucas Bennett huddle in a rundown motel room on the city's outskirts, the air heavy with mildew and the buzz of a flickering neon sign outside. The room is a stark contrast to Lucas's sleek penthouse, peeling wallpaper, a lumpy mattress, a single bulb casting harsh shadows. Maya, her curly hair loose and damp from the fog, sits cross-legged on the bed, her locket open in her palm. Her warm brown eyes, usually steady, are clouded with disbelief. Lucas paces, his tailored suit replaced by a plain hoodie, his sharp features taut with urgency. The microchip from the locket, now connected to a borrowed laptop, hums softly, its data unraveling a truth that threatens to break them both. Maya is Lily Bennett, stolen from Lucas's family 2 decades ago. The laptop screen glows with decrypted files, medical records, forged adoption papers, and a name that sears Maya's soul, Lily Bennett. She's been digging into the chip's contents with help from Jess, her tech-savvy coworker at Brew and Bloom, who's proven too curious for her own good. "I'm not Maya Torres," she whispers, her voice fragile, like glass about to shatter. Her fingers trace the locket, its floral engraving now a map to a life she never knew. Lucas stops pacing, his tousled dark hair falling into his eyes. "You're my sister, Lily. Victor, our father, hid you to protect his empire." His voice is steady, but guilt laces every word. He spent days scouring Bennett Technologies' archives, unearthing encrypted files tied to a biotech project called Gemini Protocol, a chilling scheme that used children's DNA, including Lily's, as leverage for genetic patents. Maya's mind reels, flashes of her childhood flickering like a broken film reel. Elena Vasquez, her mother, tucking her into bed in their cramped apartment, her gentle face always shadowed by unspoken fear. Elena, a nurse, died 5 years ago, her cancer diagnosis too sudden, too final. Now, Lucas's words rewrite that loss. Elena didn't die of cancer, he says, his voice low, almost breaking. She was poisoned. Victor's enforcers tied up a loose end. Maya's breath catches, her hand clutching the locket so tightly it digs into her palm. Elena had been a nurse at a shady foster facility, overhearing Victor's plan to repurpose Lily for genetic research. She fled with the child, forging a new identity as Maya Torres, sacrificing everything to keep her safe. The twist detonates like a silent bomb. Cassandra Wells, Lucas's trusted COO, isn't his ally. A file on the microchip, decoded just hours ago, reveals her betrayal. Cassandra, with her sharp suits and sharper mind, has been Victor's mole, reporting Lucas's every move. Worse, she sabotaged his Porsche that day on the road, ensuring he'd cross paths with Maya to test if she'd surface as Lily. Lucas's face hardens as he scrolls through a leaked email from Cassandra to Victor. The girl's locket is intact. She's unaware. Proceed. The betrayal cuts deeper than he expected, a knife twisting in the trust he'd placed in her. But there's more. Jess, Maya's bubbly co-worker, has been bribed by Cassandra to monitor Maya. Her TikTok livestream about the Porsche encounter a deliberate breadcrumb to draw Victor's attention. Maya's stomach churns. Jess. She's my friend, she says, her voice breaking. Lucas shakes his head. She's been feeding Cassandra your every move. The emotional collision hits like a tidal wave. Maya rises, her sneakers scuffing the worn carpet. I fixed your car, Lucas. I trusted you, she says, her eyes blazing with hurt. Now I don't even know who I am. Her identity, Barista, daughter, survivor, has been stripped away, replaced by a stranger's name and a billionaire's conspiracy. Lucas reaches for her hand, his own guilt a heavy shadow. I didn't know, Maya. I've been looking for you my whole life. But she pulls away, her breath hitching, the locket dangling like a noose. Outside, the fog presses against the motel's grimy windows, and a low rumble signals the black SUV from the diner, its engine idling in the parking lot. Lucas's phone pings, a live feed from his office security cameras, hacked by an unknown source. Cassandra is in his office, shredding Gemini protocol files, her movements frantic. Time is slipping away. A mini cliffhanger surges as Maya, overwhelmed, grabs her jacket and storms toward the door, the fog beckoning like an escape. I need air, she snaps, her voice raw. Lucas lunges after her, his hoodie catching on the doorframe. Maya, wait. It's not safe. But she's already outside, the fog swallowing her silhouette. He races into the mist, his shouts muffled, when a figure emerges from the shadows, Jess, her nose ring glinting, her face pale with guilt. She holds a USB drive, her hands trembling. I didn't know they'd hurt you, Maya, she pleads. Cassandra paid me to watch you, but I found this in her car. It's everything she's hiding. Lucas freezes, his eyes narrowing. Is Jess redeeming herself, or is this another trap laid by Victor's web? Maya, barely visible in the fog, pauses, her silhouette tense, as if sensing the weight of Jess's words. Lucas snatches the USB, his mind racing. The SUV's headlights cut through the fog, pinning them like prey. We need to go, he says, grabbing Maya's arm. She resists, her eyes locked on Jess, who's backing away, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, Jess whispers, vanishing into the mist. The SUV's engine revs, tires screeching as it lurches forward. Lucas pulls Maya behind a rusted van, their breaths ragged in the damp air. The USB burns in his pocket, a potential key to the Gemini protocol's secrets, or a decoy to lure them deeper into Victor's game. Maya's voice is a fierce whisper, her resolve hardening despite her pain. If Jess is telling the truth, what's on that drive? Lucas meets her gaze, his own fear mirrored in her eyes. Answers, he says. Or a death sentence. They slip through the motel's back lot, the fog their only cover, as the SUV circles like a predator. Maya's locket swings against her chest, its microchip already a beacon for those hunting them. Lucas's mind churns, Cassandra's betrayal, Jess's sudden confession, the files being destroyed back at his office. The truth about Maya's identity is unraveling, but it's pulling them toward a precipice neither can see. The fog thickens, swallowing their footsteps, and the question hangs unanswered: who engineered this moment, and what will it cost to escape it? As they disappear into the mist, the SUV slows, its driver dialing a number. A voice on the other end, cold and precise, says, "They have the drive. Let them run, for now." The game is far from over, and the truth is a blade poised to strike. The coastal city of Santa Marina wakes to a digital firestorm, the morning sun glinting off glass towers as news apps buzz with a viral scandal. A leaked video, uploaded anonymously to X and YouTube, exposes Bennett Technologies' genetic patents, forged adoptions, and the murder of Elena Vasquez. Lucas Bennett and Maya Torres, now embracing her dual identity as Lily Bennett, watch the chaos unfold from a safe house nestled in the hills above the city. The safe house is a modest cabin, its wooden walls and creaking floors a far cry from Lucas's cliffside penthouse. A single laptop glows on the kitchen table, streaming live coverage of Victor Bennett's arrest at his sprawling mansion, his tailored suit rumpled as FBI agents lead him to a black van. Maya, her curly hair loose, clutches a mug of coffee, her warm brown eyes reflecting the screen's flicker. Lucas, in a plain sweater, stands by the window, the ocean's distant shimmer a reminder of the empire he's left behind. The USB drive from Jess, their unlikely lifeline, sits beside the laptop, its contents, proof of Victor's bribes, falsified records, and Elena's poisoning, having ignited this reckoning. The past week has been a blur of clandestine moves and raw revelations. The USB was legitimate, a treasure trove of damning evidence Jess had stolen from Cassandra Wells's car. Cassandra, Victor's mole, has vanished, likely fleeing his wrath after her betrayal was exposed. Lucas's former COO, once a trusted ally, had orchestrated his Porsche's breakdown to force his encounter with Maya, a test to see if Lily's identity would surface. Jess, racked with guilt for her own role as Cassandra's informant, turned whistleblower, her testimony to the FBI sealing Victor's fate. Maya's locket, now resting in a small wooden box on the table, no longer feels like a talisman but a relic of a stolen life. Its microchip, with its medical records and the name Lily Bennett, was the key that unlocked this truth, but the cost has been staggering. Maya's voice breaks the silence, soft but resolute. "I went to Elena's grave yesterday." She sets her mug down, her fingers trembling slightly. "I told her she saved me." Flashbacks flicker, Maya kneeling in a quiet cemetery, the locket in her hand, whispering, "You gave me a life, Mom." Lucas turns from the window, his sharp features softened by grief. "I should have found you sooner," he says, his voice thick with the weight of years lost. Maya shakes her head, her eyes meeting his. "You found me when it mattered." The words are a bridge, fragile but real, spanning the chasm of their separation. Lucas has stepped down as CEO of Bennett Technologies, his wealth redirected to a foundation for victims of adoption fraud. Maya, grappling with her identity as Lily, has enrolled in an engineering program, her mechanic skills, honed by her uncle Javier, now a passion she's free to pursue. Their healing is tentative, built on small, deliberate steps. They meet weekly at Brew and Bloom, the coffee shop where it all began, sharing stories over lattes, rebuilding a bond shattered by Victor's schemes. The shop's exposed brick walls and soft jazz feel like a sanctuary, a place where Maya can be both Lily and herself. Lucas, trading his penthouse for a modest beach house, is learning to live without the weight of his father's legacy. The most profound reunion came days ago, when Olivia Bennett, their mother, emerged from hiding. Silenced for decades by Victor's threats, Olivia had believed Lily was dead, a lie fed to her after a medicated childbirth. Her tearful embrace with Maya, in a quiet park under the coastal fog, was a moment of raw, unspoken love, their hazel eyes, identical, locking in recognition. My girl, Olivia whispered, her hands framing Maya's face. I never stopped looking. A final twist lingers, tying up the threads of their unraveling. Jess's testimony revealed the full scope of the Gemini protocol, Victor's chilling biotech scheme. Dozens of children, like Maya, had their DNA used as leverage for genetic patents, their lives manipulated by Victor's ambition. The foundation Lucas funds is now tracing these children through DNA kits, offering hope to families torn apart. Jess, seeking redemption, has joined the effort, her TikTok fame repurposed to raise awareness. Cassandra, caught attempting to flee to Singapore, faces charges alongside Victor, her loyalty to him undone by her own ambition. The FBI's investigation into Bennett Technologies subsidiaries has uncovered disturbing genetic experiments, prompting global outrage and a plummeting stock market. The empire Victor built is in ashes, its glass towers standing empty, a monument to his hubris. As evening falls, Maya and Lucas walk the beach below the safe house, the tide whispering against the sand. The locket, now part of a memorial display at the Foundation's office, rests alongside photos of Elena and other victims, its deep red catching the light like a quiet promise. They wear matching silver bracelets, engraved with LB for Lily Bennett, symbols of a family chosen, not imposed. Maya's voice is steady, her strength returning. Elena gave me the locket to keep me safe. Now it's keeping others safe. Lucas nods, his restless energy calmed by her presence. We're building something better, he says, glancing at the horizon. Something real. The foundation, named the Elena Vasquez Trust, is their shared mission, a beacon for those lost to Victor's schemes. Olivia, now a board member, brings her quiet resilience, while Jess's tech skills help track down leads. Javier, Maya's uncle, has joined too, teaching mechanic workshops for foster kids, his gruff warmth a steady anchor. The beach stretches before them, the fog lifting to reveal a sky ablaze with stars. Maya's sneakers sink into the sand, and Lucas's hand brushes hers, a silent vow to protect what they've reclaimed. The scandal still ripples, headlines, lawsuits, congressional hearings, but here, in this moment, they are free. The future is unwritten, a canvas of possibility. Maya dreams of designing engines, Lucas of a life unburdened by secrets. Olivia plans to write a memoir, her voice no longer silenced. The Foundation's first scholarship, named for Elena, will send a foster child to college next month. As they pause by the water, the waves carrying away the last echoes of Victor's empire, Maya smiles, her eyes bright. We chose this, she says, her bracelet glinting. Lucas returns the smile, his heart full. We did. Somewhere, Elena's spirit watches, her sacrifice the spark that lit their way home. The stars above Santa Marina burn bright, and for the first time, the night holds not fear, but hope.